It's time to light up for this week's edition of Bob's Track Talk. And didn't the motorsport world put on a show for the fans? Let's start with MotoGP, and it was a return to Hungary for the two-wheel stars, the first time top-level motorcycle action has raced there in 33 years. The battle was hot at the front, with Marco Bezzecchi holding a narrow lead from title leader Marc Marquez. Bezzecchi didn't make life easy for Marquez, being passed not once, and not twice, but 3 times before Marquez finally made it stick with 10 laps to go. Pedro Acosta also made a move on Bezzecchi late in the race to steal second. In fact, Acosta was lucky to be there at all after a large qualifying crash that almost made horrible headlines. The trackside camera operator was one lucky boy, but thankfully he escaped with all limbs intact, including his thumb. At the end of the race, no one was a match for Marquez, claiming his 7th win in a row. And who says domination isn't popular? The fans absolutely loved it. NASCAR now, and the final race ahead of the playoffs took us to the world's centre of racing, Daytona, for the Coke 400. Casey Mears was the first to strike trouble, but that was just the start. These boys got themselves in a pickle, and Ronald's car was not loving it. And then the big one.
Time in Cup, and there's a big one here. Around goes
Look,
Bubba.
I'm not going to mention all the cars involved because, well, we'd be here all day. Kiwi star Shane van Gisbergen was not involved and managed to lead some laps, ultimately coming home in 16th position. Joey Logano had a spin while at the front, and while he gingerly tried to navigate the grass, he spun again and got stuck when his tyres simply couldn't help anymore. 2 laps from the end, Ryan Preece got left with no drafting buddies and slipped down, way down. At the line, they all tried to win, but it was Ryan Blaney who got there first, and others spun in a dramatic finish. Over in IndyCar, the circus visited the Milwaukee Mile, and they barely raced a mile before there was trouble. Toowoomba Tyro Will Power made this giant save, but it was all over when he brushed the wall, keeping it going, but soon was facing the wrong way. Up front, Christian Rasmussen was having the race of his life, pulling off those stunts and taking the checkered flag, his first IndyCar race win. Back on home soil, the Australian Rally Championship held its 4th round in Gippsland. In the day or the night, Kiwi Hayden Paddon was too strong, taking a commanding win ahead of the Bates Toyotas for Harry and Lewis. And we'll leave you with this fireball blaze in the IMSA Championship at Virginia in the States. Thankfully, driver Danny Formal made a quick escape from his lit-up Lambo, but it sure made for some spectacular vision. And that's it from me. F1 is back this weekend and the Supercars Enduros are just around the corner. I'm Richard Craill, your host of Bob's Track Talk, and you'll hear more from me next week.